Welcome to Visualize, the podcast where collaboration fuels change. I'm your host, Chris Baker, and each week we'll explore incredible connections between nonprofits, businesses, and the community. This is a space where we highlight inspiring partnerships, uncover strategies for creating meaningful impact, and share stories that show how working together can make all the difference. Whether you're a nonprofit leader, a business owner, or someone just passionate about building connections, this podcast is for you. Going back to the timeline here, so basically you started the Local Octopus Foundation in 2020 when COVID started, right?
Well, that's when the FTL Beach Cleanup was created.
Okay.
That was
and that was for about 2 years.
Yes.
And then you actually started going into the nonprofit legal space.
So we've been active as of January of 2022.
So January of 2022.
That's when it was dated.
That was, okay. So that is when the actual nonprofit was formed ready to go. Okay.
Yes.
So for the past, almost 3.5 years, you've been running as a nonprofit. So you're still fairly new.
Oh, yeah.
You've made a lot of progress in these collaboration efforts and connections that you've been building. How has that changed, and like big scale? How has that really changed from when you first started until now?
I would say we have a lot more people that want to work with us. A lot. And I will, give kudos to my team.
Yeah.
Because we are very aggressive with networking. I mean, I have myself, Maxence, Liz Schmidt, who is my treasurer and my diehard right hand. And then we have Christina as well, who's just been like a great friend and a great volunteer. But you got to think, so now you got 4 people that are all going to probably at least 2 or 3 networking events a week.
Yep.
And if out of 4 of us, and we go to 3 events, and then we all collect 1 to 3 business cards, that's where the real magic has now started to happen, because now we're looking at maybe 30 to 50 new touch points a month, if not more, just between that. And it's just the rapid fire and all of us growing in there. And then the Chamber of Commerce has been literally amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about that. The Social Impact Group. I sit on the Marine Advisory Board. I've been on the Marine Beach Council, which is a great one. The Marketing Council is also another really good council that I've enjoyed being on. And I mean, the other thing is you just gotta show up. I mean, there's no magic sauce to it. It's really just show up, listen, show the respect to, the people that have been here before you, and everyone's just been very open arms with us. So I'd say that's been a huge turning point for us as a team, as a nonprofit, and that's when, the sky's the limit right now.
No, that's actually very valuable information, because honestly, one of the things that I really appreciate that you said was 1 to 3 business cards. You don't want to go into a networking event and try to get every single person's business card. You really want to be strategic. You want to have those deep, meaningful conversations. You want to have, some way of actually connecting with them, and then have a reason to give a card. Because I'm sorry to say it, but, if you just hand me your card as you walk out the door, it's 99% going in the trash. I don't know who you are. You never said a word to me. Why am I going to connect with you? But if we have this kind of a conversation, even if it's only a minute to 5 minutes, but there's something there, I want to connect with you. I want to know more. And that's where I think, taking it that strategic level of networking, that's smart on your guys' end as well.
And we're just very active. I mean, it's just, again, it's, you show up, you smile, check in with everybody. And it's, that's been really important for us.
Yeah. So one of the next questions that we definitely try to bring on to the show is to talk about some of the struggles that you kind of went through. And I'm probably sure over the past 5 years, you have some. What are some of those lessons that you've learned that you can talk about the struggle and then kind of share with other nonprofits of how they're growing? Because a lot of we have a lot of new nonprofits trying to start, and you have a lot of smaller nonprofits that are kind of stuck. Mm-hmm. And we want to try to at least give them that edge of moving forward.
I would say the biggest thing that I try to do moving forward is I make it fun. That's the most important thing. Make it fun. But also do it the way that I would want it to be done, if I say that in the right way. So if I go to an event or if I go to a beach cleanup, how would I want that beach cleanup to be? Like, is there tents? Is there buckets? Is everything needed to be able to be comfortable and me to want to be there? So details matter. Like, every single detail matter, especially when you're doing volunteers, when you're asking people, or it's about really understanding what we offer and how we can make it educational and memorable for somebody. So as a nonprofit, like, that's where you got to take it personal and really have that passion and drive, because then it all comes natural for us. That would probably be the biggest thing that I would probably say. We learned very quickly that just because you're doing something good doesn't mean you can't do it better. So it goes back to the last thing where it's like, I'm putting on a beach cleanup, but I'm getting crucified because I have plastic water bottles there. And I'm like, but it's hot. And like, the plastic water bottles were donated. Like, I didn't even bring them. Or you have plastic chips at your event. Like, you have chips as a snack and they're in plastic. And it's like, you're now creating trash with your event that is supposed to pick up trash. So in the beginning, it used to really irk me, because I'm just like, I'm out here doing the best I can, like, on my free time, on my dime, and I'm just getting beat up. But then it motivates you. So then you start to really think like 5 times down the road, where it's just like, how can I make sure that one person isn't going to find that flaw? And I would say the biggest thing that got us, that I'll never forget, it's our first learning experience where I had the lawyer and I thought I was good and all these other things, is we had an educational fundraiser and we had a company that sponsored it. And the words that we said was, we are in the motion of getting our 501c3, acting as a nonprofit. And he goes, so you're technically not a nonprofit right now, this second.
Yep.
And I was like, technically, but my lawyer, who's a lawyer, said that you're fine and that you can collect donations. And we've learned that's when we were doing educational events, at like a brewery or a bar, though. And at the beginning, it was great because that was our foot in the door. And now moving forward, I'm very like, we don't really have like, I try not to have like alcohol really at our events, because that's not the purpose.
Right.
I want to be more kid friendly, more school programming educated focus. But in the beginning, yeah, we just got a guy, and it was late at night, and it was just back and forth. And he's just like, you're a liar. I want my money back. And I'm just like, dang, like, I don't know how to handle this one. Like, it was just kind of like caught in that moment. And that was in like literally right at the point of like getting our status. Like, I think we put on an educational fundraiser in like December, and we got our status like January, where it's like, he literally just was like right there. And then, that's when I've really done our due diligence, my team and I, to make sure that we're always in compliance. We're always following the rules. Like, I take it very personal that I'd rather build this, I'd rather build this the way that it needs to now than try to cut some corners and make a little bit of money here or do it that way. Like, everything that we make right now goes right back into the nonprofit. All of us have full-time jobs. Some of us have multiple businesses that we run. So I do take it personal sometimes when people poke and try to like find the flaws, but it's motivation, and it only makes me better, and it's only made us better as an organization moving forward. We're being sustainable, like thinking about the 3 or 4 steps ahead that no one's thinking of. And that's where I take on that responsibility as the president, is just making sure, like, I got to make the right decisions, but I have a great team. So it makes it a lot easier for me.
Well, it makes you stronger, because honestly, the minute when you have to go through these struggles and you have to deal with them, you find ways to work around it, or you find ways to deal with it. That does sound like a challenge, especially back then, for someone that was going to sponsor and want his money back.
I was just a baby. We were just getting started, and I'm just like, man, this don't feel good. But
no,
and we still talk like that. We talk about it to this day. Like, it's our, like, that's like, if you want to have a story that like that's, and luckily we haven't really had any issues since then.
Good.
We've been very fortunate, and that's why, like, I brought on Liz. I call her the adult in the room, because Maxence and I in the same room together is great, but fairy tale and dreams also have to have reality.
Yeah.
So having Liz there it's been great to have her, and she's 10x'd us so far. So I'm really looking forward to the future. We have a lot of steam, a lot of good momentum, and I'm really looking forward to the back half of this year. So we have sponsors that will come and do our beach cleanups. That's been like our bread and butter, was the beach cleanups. So that was like how we would get some of our funding on top of doing the the educational fundraisers. But now that we have all these other activations, now we can schedule this out throughout the year. So now what's really fun is we're actually like creating our budget, where it's like we never had that before. We would be like, oh, well, we raised $15,000 this year, and we're like, wow, we get to pay for storage and we get a new tent. We're so excited. Like, oh my goodness, I get a business card now. So now it's to the point where we're working on a project called the Grade 8. It's been about a year or two in the making. We're focusing on trying to do 8 sustainable activities throughout the month of June, which is World Oceans Month. So right now we have 4 confirmed activities. On June 7th, we have a sea oat planting with Adopt a Dune. On June 8th, we have a beach cleanup with the Plunge Beach Resort in Lauderdale by the Sea. Oh, excuse me. On June 14th, we are partnering with the City of Hollywood, which I'm really excited for, to work, kind of branch out. And then on June 28th is when we're gonna do our signature FTL beach cleanup. We are looking to finalize potentially Dania Beach and Pompano. So that would put us up to 6 events throughout the month. And then the last keys would be Deerfield and Hollandale, which are like obviously like the most stretched out parts of Broward that we don't have the most reach on, but that's hopefully, that within the next week or so, I can kind of solidify that. By the end of the week, we'll start rolling out all of our announcements of what I just said. And then we're filling in the blanks probably in the next week or so. And that's like a way, and like we're really excited because we've gotten a lot of partners and sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
We're already up to like 3 different like sponsors. So now this could be an initiative that is like on our budget sheet every year, where it's like we know we're roughly estimated to get this much money in just for this month. And then we have probably about 4 or 5 other activations throughout the year that we can kind of feel confident with. And that's just, again, like with programming and planning. And we haven't even really started applying for grants yet. This year, the main focus is documentation. We want to do as many case studies, document as much as that we're doing, do more activations like this so that we can have more people know what we do. Okay. And then eventually we would like to start doing some larger scale projects. Another one that we're trying to work with is the Galt Mile Association. The Galt Mile, which is a mile stretch on Oakland Park right off of A1A. And they have a mile full of sand dunes and sea oats that are just long overdue, and it's in that kind of weird spot where the DEP and the county have given them approval, but it's like, oh, you're approved, but you need to deal with it. And then the residencies, they're like, great, you gave us the approval, but then you want us to do all the work for it. So we kind of work in that middle ground,
sure,
where now we can kind of be like play mediator, where it's like, oh, perfect, you guys have gave us all permission. You can kind of either send us either a donation or a grant or something like that for us to put our efforts in, and then we can come in and do these projects for you. So definitely a lot of cool things in the mix. It's been rewarding. I mean, it's probably been the best thing that ever happened to me.
So all of these events that are happening here in June, are they on the website?
Yeah, so everything's listed. All the dates are listed on our website. We also have a volunteer sheet that's on there as well. So if you do want to play a bigger role, we're looking for volunteers, committee members, and board members. We're always actively trying to find, add people to the cavalry.
Nice.
And everything, it's the localoctopus.org.
The localoctopus.org.
Yes.
Is there a phone number or email that they can reach out to?
Best one, I mean, I'm probably your best point of contact at 586-554-0354. And then we also have hello at thelocaloctopus.org, and then my personal is cleanupmccoy@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome. So as we wrap up, so now everybody knows how they can get involved and, be involved here in June. This is going to be a fantastic opportunity. And then last question we always ask, what is the legacy that you personally, now this is Travis, what is the legacy you want to leave for future generations?
What do I want to leave a legacy for? I think my big why is, do things with the thought of of getting anything back in return. Because that's where I've felt like I've really gotten the most out of what I do. Like when I go to the beach cleanup, it's not like, oh, we have a sponsor, we have this coming. It's like, no, I get to be around this type of energy that is the most addicting energy I've ever felt. Where it's the positivity, you see the change. I've seen people that have had no friends or like were new to the city and have popped up at this event and now are lifelong friends with people that have gone to 5, 6, been to beach cleanups before. So I think it's just always that initiative of kind of think about how you want to be treated. That's what my mom always told me, like the same thing where I was like, well, how would I want this event to be? It's like, how do you want to be treated? And that's how you treat people. And I try to do the best I can to be a good person, bring that positivity, and leave somebody feeling good after I'm done with them. So that's kind of that underlying mission of how I've like done all these events, and my forward thinking of moving forward with that is just be a good person. Just
kindness actually lives on beyond us as an individual, and it can linger through many relationships. So one act of kindness could change the future of someone else many years down the road. So I appreciate that.
The one big thing too, to kind of comment on that, is one big thing of why we do the beach cleanups, and it's not about how many people show up. It's not about how much trash we collect. It's the action of you doing something that could trickle down to somebody else.
Correct.
And it's like, and it's funny because I didn't grow up at the beach. I grew up on lakes in Michigan. So, I mean, people are always like, what's your obsession with beaches? I'm like, well, I don't know. I needed to go outside, and that's the only place I could go when it was during COVID. But it's the action of hopefully seeing, that 5-year-old, that 6-year-old kid that sees you do that and goes, oh, wow, like, I don't think I'm going to throw trash on the ground anymore. Or, wow, maybe I should have a reusable water bottle instead of a water bottle. And we just say, let's just be 1% better every day.
That's all
you can do. Yeah. I mean, we could go down the line on how you have to change everything, but it's like, you can't do it unless you do it at 1%. And it's just all about, keep the seas plastic free. And that's the only way we can start it is, we have to do it.
Yep, I agree. Travis, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate it. Get out there, help be a part of the sustainable change with the Local Octopus Foundation here in June and year-round, actually. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Visualize. We hope that the inspiration and practical insights can help you foster stronger connections and meaningful change. Don't forget to subscribe, share the episode, and leave us a review. To learn more about Visuals by Momo and how we support collaboration and storytelling, visit visualsbymomo.com. A huge thank you to everyone out there listening. Until next time, remember, collaboration fuels change, and your connections can inspire the world.